Hello. Welcome back to our literature class. How are you all today? Well, today's class will be looking at the themes and style of Buchia Mechita's Second Class Citizen. Remember, we did the introduction, the plot summary, we understood the whole story, and the background of the author as well, and the connection to the story. So now we're going to be looking at the themes and the style in Buchia Mechita's Second Class Citizen. Now, learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to identify the themes in the novel, analyze the style used by Buchia Mechita in her novel. So these are the two things we're going to be doing in this class today. We're going to be identifying the themes and then the style Buchia Mechita used to write her novel. Well, let's get on with it. We're looking at the themes now. The first theme in Buchia Mechita's Second Class Citizen is racism and prejudice. Racism and prejudice, the whites and the blacks. There is always the United Kingdom during the time of the writing of this book, during the year 1970s. It was a racist society. You had the whites being unfair to the blacks because of their color. They felt inferior. The whites were feeling superior. We had instances where the blacks would not be able to go to certain places, attend certain functions because of their skin color. We had the family of the obese and the white race of the United Kingdom. The blacks were seen as second-class citizens. You remember, their neighbors who were also blacks were also hating them. Their landlord, who was a white man, was also discriminating. Didn't want them to have their children in the compound, wanted them to drop their children in foster care. They also ended up chasing them out of the house. Even when Ada tried to find a house, they were always telling them, sorry, no colored, meaning they did not want a black person living in their houses. So you see that they went through a lot in the United Kingdom. Don't forget Trudy as well. Trudy was a white woman. Trudy was maltreating Ada's children because they were blacks. Yes, the blacks cannot live with their children. I said it initially. In their house, the landlord refused to allow them live with their children. He insisted that the children should be fostered to other families, which Ada refused, and this caused a lot of division between husband and wife and their tenants as well. So racism and prejudice, this is a major theme in Buchia Mechita's Second Class Citizen. Another theme in the book is, we can see the theme of class and gender. Class and gender, yes. Ada was born a girl. Initially, Ma and Pa wanted a boy. So they were kind of disappointed when Ada came out as a girl. Everybody always feels girls are just made to take care of the home and then end up getting married so that they can get the bride price. But the society has always downgraded the gender, the female gender. They always see them as less, inferior, submissive. So Ada went through all that. Ada's marriage was also controlled by her father-in-law. Yes, Pa Francis. You remember Pa Francis, the father-in-law, Francis's father. Everything in the marriage was dictated by him. How the monies should be shared was also dictated by him in their own marriage. She was the one working and catering for Francis. She was the one always doing everything. Even while he was there, she was sending money for his education, and he kept on failing. So you see that the female gender is always seen as one who should struggle hard to provide for the family. Struggle really hard, provide for the family. That is your job, nothing else. You're not supposed to do anything other than that. So there is also class. There is also class in the story, because we can see that there is the upper class and the lower class. You have people that can afford certain things and people that cannot afford the basic amenities. You can see that the family of the obese, went through a lot. Ada went through a lot when she was younger. She couldn't afford simple education, but she had to push for it. And for her to further her education, she had to marry Francis. So you see how the society has made it so difficult for the female gender that they even have to resort to certain drastic means just to make a name for themselves in the society. That's what Buchi Emecheta was trying to portray in her book, Second Class Citizen. Now, let's look at another theme. Another theme in this book is domestic violence. We can see domestic violence in Francis. Francis was a very violent husband. He was a violent husband, always hitting her, always beating her. Like, I don't know how someone will feel so comfortable beating his wife. So Francis was very, very violent. Every little thing, he comes back agitated, and the next thing, he's pouncing on Ada. The incessant beatings led to their failed marriage because they became distant. Like, she got so tired of him. The last straw was when he burnt her manuscript, and when she said beat her up, she had to leave. So Buchi Emecheta is showing us the negative effects of domestic violence in families through her book. So if we are trying to say that this book is an autobiography of Buchi Emecheta, so we're saying that there are certain women out there that have gone through a lot of domestic violence in the hands of their husbands, and some of them unfortunately couldn't fight back because they ended up losing their lives. But we have ladies that will end up fighting back, and that's what the character of Ada did. She couldn't take it anymore. She didn't want a situation where her children will have to suffer it someday, and she had to leave. She had to leave. She really, really had to leave. So now we've looked at the themes in Buchi Emecheta's Second Class Citizen. We have racism and prejudice, we have class and gender, we have domestic violence, and there are other themes. There are so many other themes in this book, but we're going to be looking at just these three important themes. Now, let's go to the style of the book. The style of the book. How did Buchi Emecheta write her book? What are those unique qualities she added in her book? Let's look at them one by one. The first one, we'll be looking at the language. The language she used to write the book. Emecheta describes every event, incident, characters, actions, and even atmospheres graphically. When she describes the cold welcome when Ada first came into the United Kingdom, you see the way she described it to show you how cloudy and cold and gloomy UK looked like at the time Ada arrived. She also described every event, every incident, the incident with Trudy, the incident with the landlords. She described it graphically. She also makes use of Nigerian languages like the Yoruba Iyawo and the Igbo Ofo. So you see that she describes there's a picture in your head. You'll be able to recreate the story in your head using every single distinct descriptive images that she used in the book. Another style was the use of proverbs. Buchi Emecheta used proverbs to make us, she connected us to our roots because the Africans always use proverbs. His friends of the happier days took to their heels, meaning those people that used to come and congratulate you, hang around with you, they left him. They left him. A hungry dog does not play with one with full stomach. One who is very hungry, one who is suffering, does not go and play with one who has finished eating and has fed very well. You will not have the strength, and you feel super jealous and envious, and then negative thoughts will come into your head. That's what she was trying to explain. We have proverbs. There are other proverbs in that book if you read it well. Another style of Buchi Emetụta's writing, we saw the use of simile. Shattered like a broken glass about her. Here in the book, Ada's romantic life is compared to broken glass. When something is broke, when a glass is broken, can it be fixed? No, it can't. So obviously, her romantic life couldn't be fixed. Another figure of speech is metaphor. These women were so proud of this new lawyer because to them it meant the arrival of their own Messiah. The lawyer is compared to a Messiah because he is the first educated person in their Ibuza town. All of them came to welcome him. They were happy. So to them, he has learned the white man's language. He will come and better the place for them. And the majority of them will have access to the white man's knowledge. So he is seen as the Messiah to them. Now, let's look at some other figures of speech. Irony. Ada scribbled away, enjoying the smell of crocro and dried sweat. Crocro and dried sweat are not fun, so it is ironic. Crocro means all these ringworms, all these eczemas, that skin defects that affects the body. Dried sweat. Who wants to sit down and sniff dried sweat? The smell is pungent. It's awful. But she was just scribbling away writing. She was writing her book while enjoying the smell of crocodile and dried sweat. It's very ironic. Another figure of speech is personification. Oil was discovered very near her, and she allowed oil men to dig her. The she in the statement is River Oboshi. So they said they discovered river near River Oboshi, but they personified her, they gave her a human quality, her. Do you understand? Now, we have seen the style which Emecheta used to write her novel, Second Class Citizen. There are other stylistic analyses of Buchi Emecheta's Second Class Citizen. We're going to make do with this one in our class today. Now, let's do a little bit of evaluation. Read the book and write down more examples of simile as used in the novel. Number 2, examine the theme of parental care in the novel. So, do these questions. Now, we've come to the end of our lovely class on the themes and style of Second Class Citizen by Buchi Emecheta. So, our next class will be on the major characters. So, I'm going to see you all in my next class. For now, it's a goodbye. Bye.